This is going to be a rant on my part. Normally I would script my videos, but I'm going to go off on a rant this time. And this pertains to what has had many videos made upon it already. The incident in Washington, D.C. involving the Covington Catholic school kids and Native American protesters, leading a charge by Nathan Phillips and the Black Hebrew Israelites. Original reports come out by outlets like CNN stating that the boys were crowding around Mr. Phillips, bullying him, and then Mr. Phillips gave an interview to CNN saying that he was in fear of his life and he was trying to get out, but they weren't letting him get out. But I waited until the facts started to emerge, because CNN lost credibility with me back in 2014 with the whole Black Lives Matter riots, when they edited out a footage that mothers saying that instead of burning down our own communities, we need to go to the suburbs and burn their shit down. They didn't include that part of that video clip when they was trying to paint this rosy picture of Black Lives Matter. But anyways, because of this false narrative that was perpetuated by CNN and other lefty outlets like Salon and outlets like National Review and whatnot, these boys had their lives threatened. They were berated, they were harassed, they were bullied. As I speaking today, their school had to close down due to security concerns. Police cars had to be stationed outside the school because some unhinged fucker who was goaded and ginned up by this racial rhetoric coming from outlets like CNN, calling these kids privileged little white shits, the epitome of the privileged white patriarchal oppression. You could easily have someone go into that school and try to burn it down. Or even worse, if they decide to have school that day, no telling. There could have been a mass shooting at that school, goaded on by outlets like CNN. These boys, particularly Nick Sandmann, did not deserve this at all. They were wrongfully maligned. You know, they accused Sandmann of just standing there smirking at Mr. Phillips, who I'm going to call Chief Spreading Bull from now on. Chief Spreading Bull came up within an inch of his face banging the drum. And the only thing Nick Sandmann could do was stand there. He didn't know what the hell to do. I mean, at first, he probably thought, maybe he's just joining us in our chants and our celebrations that we do, as we do as kids at the school. But no, Chief Spreading Bull wanted to provoke a response because he was there with the Black Hebrew Israelites. He interceded between the Black Hebrew Israelites and those kids, because them kids were shouting chants to drown out the words like faggot and crackers and future school shooters from a group that has been documented as a hate group by the Southern Poverty Law Center. The Black Hebrew Israelites. They're anti-Semitic, they're homophobic, they're anti-Asian, and they're anti-white. If the shoe was on the other foot, and if it was a bunch of black teens and they accosted a white person, CNN would not cover that whatsoever because it's not within their priority to do so. CNN and every other fucking media outlet on the left in particular, and even some conservative, spiny fucking cuck-servatives like S.E. Cupp, abandoned all journalistic integrity by not allowing the facts to come forth. But instead, they promulgated a fucking narrative that these kids were bullying a Native American guy, which turned out to be fucking false. Hell, even Chief Spreading Bull's wartime record was bullshit. He never ever served in Vietnam. How in the fuck can they get so many things wrong? How in the fuck can they do that? Well, let me tell you why. Because they're not interested in facts. They're interested in promoting a narrative of all white people, all white conservatives in particular, who are pro-life, who are Christians, are the epitome of everything that is wrong, rotten, and putrid with this country. These fucking vermin decided to take a video clip and try to present it as these kids bullying a minority. It all turned out to be bullshit. And a lot of these conservatives like S.E. Cupp and a lot of these stupid fucking race baiting anchors like Miss Navarro, had to retract their fucking statements. Because they were dead fucking wrong on this one. And another component to this whole charade was Twitter allowing all their precious blue check marks like Kathy Griffin, for example, calling for the docs of these kids. By the way, the docs did get found on these kids, including Mr. Sandman. He wants to be a culinary chef. And you know what these fucking assholes did that were urged on by CNN and all these other outlets? They called every goddamn culinary school in this country and told them not to admit Mr. Sandman because he is a white supremacist and he belittled and berated and bullied and ridiculed a Native American man. Which again turned out to be bullshit. Yeah, Mr. Phillips has a history of agitating this kind of bullshit and lying. He did it the same thing while he was at Eastern Michigan University back in 2015. And now a new video clip has surfaced where supposedly these kids, it's a 7-second video clip, and you can't even verify if it was the kids from Covington Catholic School, where supposedly one of them jeers at a woman passing by. But you know what? This dumb bitch should have realized when she put that video on Twitter. He who lives in glass houses cast the first stone. Come to find out, she has a long history of making racist tweets, saying the N-word and all other expletives. So, if you're going to try to claim the moral high ground, don't have a history of being a racist when you're trying to claim people are being racist. And there's another video, supposedly some kid saying rape is not wrong if she likes it, which again, you cannot even verify if it was a kid from Covington Catholic. This bullshit will not stop because people like Reza Aslan, one of the other precious blue check marks, a former contributor to CNN, and their favorite Islamic apologist, little happy, friendly, vanilla brown Muslim guy who makes it impossible for regular Americans to have a conversation on Islam because he obfuscates so much of its fucking practices and its teachings. He's called for violence against those kids. Maybe not directly because he called Nick Salmon having a punchable face, but nonetheless, that in a way is a call to fucking violence. And he can't even recognize that because he's such a master of sophistry that he believes his own bullshit. So when it comes down to it, They've really lost the plot here. CNN and every other leftard, every blue check on fucking Twitter who's being protected by Jack Dorsey and all the fucking sycophants on that goddamn platform, they've lost the plot. This may be, in the grand scheme of things, be a turning point in this so-called culture war. Because when it comes down to it, there's going to be lawsuits. Especially for all these outlets and all these blue check marks that don't retract their previous statements. And it's going to cripple these outlets. I would like for them to cripple goddamn outlets like BuzzFeed and Salon and The Verge and every other shit rag that likes to promote anti-white bigotry. And who called for the doxes and for the ruination of kids who did nothing wrong. This, ladies and gentlemen, cannot go unabated here. Blood is in the water for outlets like Fox News, who are the sworn enemy of outlets like CNN. Now's the time to jump and attack and don't stop until the fucking carcass is shredded into millions of pieces here. We need to hit them where it hurts the most. Boycott them. Go after their advertisers. Call for their resignations. For people like Essie Cupp. Yeah, she apologized, but the damage has been done. How hell you're going to make up for those kids who had to miss out on school today because of the fact that they had fucking death threats made against them? Excuse me. How are you going to make up for that, honestly? Yeah, you made a mistake, but we're not the ones that made a mistake. You did. You abandoned all journalistic integrity by not allowing yourself to check your sources and let the facts come out and present them honestly instead of trying to put propaganda and spin on them. You were wrong to do this. You've lost the plot here. And this also has red-pilled probably millions of people to realizing how bigoted and how anti-white and how bigoted you towards conservatives you are. It's not about presenting facts. It's not about getting the story right. It's not about presenting the news as is. It's about pushing a narrative. That's all it has been for a long time with outlets like CNN. Now is the time, people, to go after them and hurt them where it hurts them the worst. Their pocketbooks. We need to go for these outlets' throats here. Those are here in the alternative media and big media companies like Fox News. We need to go after these fucking folks and do it with a vengeance here. It's time to take the gloves off. I think people have realized that decorum and politeness has went out the window because these fuckers have crossed the line. They went after innocent kids, and this cannot stand. I'm the Mass Free Thinker. You can find me on YouTube. You can find me on Patreon. You can find me on Twitter. And now I have an account on BitChute. Just search for Mass Free Thinker on there. You got to excuse me. This is not a normal video this is going to be for me. But I've had to put my 2 cents out there. I honestly am enraged. But at the same time, I'm motivated even more now to make more videos. To go after these outlets for their dishonest reporting and for spreading dangerous and deadly propaganda. This has got to stop. Who's with me?